The crash landing. Captain Elena Rees gripped the controls of her small scout ship as warning alarms blared throughout the cramped cockpit. The vessel shuddered violently, systems failing one by one as it plummeted through the atmosphere of the uncharted planet below. Mayday, Mayday. This is Captain Elena Rees of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. My ship has sustained critical damage, and I'm going down on an unknown world. Coordinates are... She rattled off the string of numbers, hoping against hope that her distress call would reach someone, anyone, before she crashed. But she knew the chances were slim. The Horizon had been on a deep space survey mission, pushing the boundaries of explored territory. They were far beyond any established colonies or outposts. Elena grit her teeth as she fought to level out the ship's descent, trying to find some place suitable for an emergency landing. Through the view screen, she could see a vast purple ocean giving way to rolling hills covered in silverish vegetation. In the distance, crystalline spires rose into the sky, signs of civilization. But she had no time to marvel at the alien landscape. The ground was rushing up to meet her at alarming speed. Elena braced for impact, closing her eyes as the ship slammed into the planet's surface. There was a deafening screech of tearing metal, and then darkness. When Elena regained consciousness, the first thing she became aware of was pain. Her entire body ached, and a sharp stabbing sensation in her side suggested broken ribs. She coughed, tasting blood, and slowly opened her eyes. The cockpit was a mangled mess of twisted metal and shattered displays. Acrid smoke filled the air, stinging her eyes and lungs. Elena fumbled with trembling fingers to release her harness, gasping as the movement sent fresh waves of agony through her battered body. She had to get out before the ship's power core destabilized or the fuel lines ruptured. With agonizing slowness, Elena dragged herself through the wreckage toward the emergency hatch. It took all of her remaining strength to turn the manual release wheel and push the hatch open. Cool, sweet air rushed in as Elena tumbled out onto alien soil. She crawled a short distance from the smoking wreck of her ship before collapsing onto her back, staring up at a lavender sky. Two suns hung low on the horizon, bathing the landscape in an otherworldly glow. Elena's survival training kicked in through the haze of pain and disorientation. She needed to assess her injuries, salvage whatever supplies she could from the ship, and find shelter before nightfall. But her battered body refused to cooperate. The simple act of breathing sent spikes of agony through her chest. As her vision began to dim once more, Elena became aware of voices and movement around her. Slender figures with iridescent skin moved into view, speaking in musical tones she couldn't understand. The last thing she saw before losing consciousness was a face, hauntingly beautiful and unmistakably alien, gazing down at her with a mixture of curiosity and concern. Elena drifted in and out of awareness, catching fragmented glimpses of her surroundings. She was being carried on some kind of anti-gravity stretcher, whisked through winding corridors of shimmering crystal. Alien faces peered down at her, all distinctly feminine in appearance. In her semi-conscious state, Elena's mind struggled to make sense of what she was seeing. Where were the male aliens? And why do they all look so similar, like subtle variations on a single template? But the questions slipped away as quickly as they formed, lost in a haze of pain and exhaustion. Elena surrendered to the darkness once more. When she finally awoke fully, Elena found herself in what appeared to be a medical bay of some kind. The walls and ceiling pulsed with soft bioluminescence, creating a soothing atmosphere. She was lying on a bed that seemed to mold itself to the contours of her body, easing the worst of her aches and pains. As Elena's eyes adjusted to the dim light, she realized she wasn't alone. An alien figure stood nearby, monitoring some kind of holographic display. Like the others Elena had glimpsed, this being had a slender feminine form with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer with subtle hues of blue and violet. The alien turned, noticing that Elena was awake. "It's her." Face lit up with a smile that was at once familiar and utterly foreign. "Greetings, Skyfallen One," the alien said in perfect English. though her mouth didn't seem to move in sync with the words. Some kind of translation technology, Elena realized. I am Lyra, chief healer of Zephyria. How do you feel? Elena tried to speak, but her throat was dry and raw. Lyra quickly brought a cup of cool liquid to her lips. The water had an odd, sweet taste, but it soothed Elena's parched mouth. Thank you, Elena managed to croak out. I'm alive, I guess, which is more than I expected after that crash. Lyra's expression became serious. You were gravely injured when we found you. It has taken 3 cycles of the suns for your body to heal enough for you to regain consciousness. 3 days, Elena thought, or was a cycle longer on this world? She had so many questions, but one pressed to the forefront of her mind. My ship, Elena said. Did you recover anything from the crash site? There's vital data, records of my mission. Lyra held up a hand to quiet her. Peace, Skyfallen One. Your vessel was beyond salvage, but we were able to retrieve some items and data storage devices before it was consumed by fire. They are being examined by our scientists. Elena relaxed slightly, relieved that at least some of her mission data might have survived, but a new tension quickly took hold as the full weight of her situation settled in. She was stranded on an alien world, utterly dependent on the goodwill of these strange beings. I don't know how to thank you for saving my life, Elena said. My name is Elena Reeves. I'm a captain in the Earth Exploration Fleet. My ship was on a deep space survey mission when we encountered an anomaly that damaged our systems. I had to make an emergency landing. Lyra tilted her head, a gesture that reminded Elena uncannily of a curious bird. Earth. We have no records of your world in our star charts. You have journeyed very far, Elena Reeves. Farther than I realized, apparently, Elena said with a weak laugh that made her wince as pain lanced through her ribs. Lyra noticed her discomfort and made some adjustments to the bed. A warm, tingling sensation spread through Elena's body, dulling the worst of the pain. Rest now, Lyra said gently. There will be time for more questions once you have regained your strength. You are safe here on Zephyria. As soothing as Lyra's words were, Elena couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. There was something off about this place, something her instincts were trying to warn her about. But exhaustion was already pulling her back towards sleep, and she was powerless to resist. Just before drifting off, a final thought flickered through Elena's mind. In all her encounters so far, she hadn't seen a single male alien. What kind of world had she crashed on? The answer, she would soon discover, was far stranger than she could have imagined. The forbidden gender. Elena's recovery in the Zephyrian medical bay was swift, thanks to the advanced healing technologies of her alien hosts. As her strength returned, so did her curiosity about this strange world she had crash-landed on. The mystery of the missing males gnawed at her, but every time she tried to broach the subject, Lyra or the other healers would deftly change the topic. On the 7th day, since regaining consciousness, Elena was deemed fit enough to leave the medical bay. Lyra arrived to escort her, bearing a set of shimmering garments that seemed to be standard attire on Zephyria. These clothes are biomimetic, Lyra explained as Elena marveled at the fabric that seemed to adjust its color and texture to her touch. They will help you blend in while we tour the city. As they stepped out of the healing center, Elena's breath caught in her throat. The cityscape that spread before her was like nothing she had ever seen. Crystalline towers spiraled into the lavender sky, connected by gossamer bridges that sparkled in the light of the twin suns. Vehicles that looked like luminous bubbles zipped silently between the structures, leaving trails of rainbow-hued energy in their wake. Welcome to Harmonia, the capital of Zephyria, Lyra said, a note of pride in her voice. What do you think of our humble home? Elena shook her head in amazement. It's incredible. Your technology, your architecture, it's centuries beyond anything we have on Earth. As they walked through the city, Elena noticed that every Zephyrian they passed was female, or at least appeared female to her human perceptions. The diversity she saw was in subtle variations of height, build, and the shifting colors of their iridescent skin. Unable to contain her curiosity any longer, Elena turned to Lyra. I hope this isn't too forward, but I have to ask, where are all the men? I haven't seen a single male since I arrived. Lyra's expression grew serious, almost sad. Ah, you've noticed. I suppose it was only a matter of time. She guided Elena to a secluded garden, its alien flora pulsing with soft bioluminescence. What I'm about to tell you may be difficult to understand, but it's crucial that you grasp the reality of our world. Elena listened in growing disbelief as Lyra explained the history of Zephyria. Centuries ago, their society had been much like Earth's, with two distinct sexes. But a catastrophic war, fueled by what the Zephyrians perceived as male aggression and desire for dominance, had nearly destroyed their civilization. In the aftermath, Lyra continued, her voice low, our greatest scientists developed a way to alter our biology. They believed that by removing the male sex entirely, we could create a harmonious, peaceful society free from the destructive impulses that had nearly wiped us out. Elena's mind reeled. But how do you reproduce? How has your species survived? We developed advanced cloning and genetic recombination techniques, Lyra explained. Each new generation is carefully cultivated to maintain genetic diversity and desired traits. We have not had a natural birth in over 500 years. The implications of this revelation hit Elena like a physical blow. She thought of the rich tapestry of human relationships, the complex interplay of masculine and feminine energies that shaped her own culture. To imagine a world without that duality seemed impossible. So, there are no men at all on Zephyria? Elena asked, still struggling to wrap her mind around the concept. Lyra's expression grew guarded. That is a complicated question. Officially, males are forbidden on Zephyria. The presence of men is seen as a threat to the harmony we've worked so hard to achieve. Elena's heart raced as she processed the full meaning of Lyra's words. Officially, does that mean? Her question was cut short by a sudden commotion. A group of Zephyrians in sleek, silvery uniforms approached rapidly, their faces set in grim determination. At their head was a tall, imposing figure whose skin shimmered with deep purple hues. Lyra, the leader said, her voice cold and authoritative, you were instructed to bring the alien directly to the High Council for questioning. Why have you delayed? Lyra bowed her head, a tremor of fear visible in her delicate frame. Forgive me, Commandant Vex. I thought it wise to acclimate our guest to our world before. Your thoughts are irrelevant, Vex snapped. She turned her piercing gaze to Elena, who fought the urge to step back. You'll come with us now, Earth-dweller. The High Council awaits. As the guards moved to flank her, Elena shot a questioning look at Lyra. The healer's eyes were full of apology and barely concealed fear. Whatever was about to happen, Elena realized it was unlikely to be a friendly chat. The journey to the High Council chambers was tense and silent. Elena's mind raced, trying to piece together the fragments of information she'd gathered. A society without men, enforced by what seemed to be a strict authoritarian regime. And Lyra's hesitation when asked if there were truly no males on the planet. What was she hiding? The council chambers were a vast, circular room dominated by a ring of elevated seats. 13 Zephyrians, distinguished by their elaborate headdresses and the intensity of their skin's bioluminescence, looked down at Elena with expressions ranging from curiosity to open hostility. Elena Reeves of Earth intoned the central figure, her voice resonating with power. You stand before the High Council of Zephyria, uninvited and unannounced. Your presence here violates our most sacred law, the prohibition of males on our world. Elena's brow furrowed in confusion. But I'm not. Silence. The lead counselor commanded. We are aware that you yourself are female, but you carry within you the potential for male offspring. Your very existence is a threat to the harmony we have cultivated for centuries. As the weight of her situation settled over her, Elena realized the true extent of her predicament. She wasn't just a stranger on an alien world, she was viewed as a contamination, a dangerous anomaly that challenged the very foundations of Zephyrian society. "What do you intend to do with me?" Elena asked, struggling to keep her voice steady. The head counselor's eyes narrowed. "That is what we must decide. You will be held in isolation while we debate your fate. If you truly come in peace, as you claim, you will submit to our authority without resistance." Elena's mind raced, weighing her options. She was outnumbered, unarmed, and in a completely alien environment. For now, compliance seemed to be her only choice. But as the guards led her away, a steely determination settled in her gut. She would find a way off this world, and in doing so, perhaps unlock the secrets that lay hidden beneath Zephyria's serene surface. As the doors of her luxurious but clearly fortified quarters closed behind her, Elena began to plan. She was a trained explorer, skilled in adapting to unknown environments. Somewhere on this planet, there had to be allies, those who questioned the rigid control of the High Council, or even hidden males, if Lyra's hints were to be believed. One way or another, she would uncover the truth about Zephyria, and in doing so, Elena Rees might just spark a revolution that would change this world forever. The whispers of rebellion. Elena paced her opulent prison, mind racing with possibilities. The room, while beautifully appointed with shimmering walls that changed color with her mood and furniture that seemed to grow organically from the floor, was unmistakably a gilded cage. She had spent days testing its boundaries, searching for weaknesses, but the Zephyrian's technology was seamless and impenetrable. On the 7th night of her confinement, as the twin moons of Zephyria cast an eerie glow through the translucent ceiling, Elena noticed something odd. A faint vibration, almost imperceptible, thrummed through the floor. Curious, she pressed her ear to the cool surface, straining to hear. There it was again, a rhythmic pulsing, like a heartbeat deep within the planet itself. As she focused, strange words began to form in her mind, as if the vibrations were transmitting directly into her consciousness. "Daughter of Earth, seeker of truth, the forgotten ones await. Follow the quantum whispers to the heart of Zephyria's secret." Elena jerked back, startled. Was she going mad from isolation, or had she just experienced some form of telepathic communication? Before she could ponder further, the door to her quarters slid open with a soft hiss. Elena tensed, expecting guards, but instead found herself face to face with Lyra. The healer's iridescent skin was muted, a sign of distress among her people. "Quickly," Lyra whispered, glancing nervously over her shoulder. "We don't have much time." Elena didn't hesitate. She followed Lyra through a maze of crystalline corridors, their footsteps masked by some kind of sound-dampening field. They descended deeper into the heart of the city, the architecture growing more organic and alien with each level. "Where are we going?" Elena whispered as they paused at an intersection. Lyra's eyes shimmered with a mix of fear and excitement. "To the truth, to the future of Zephyria, and perhaps your world as well." They reached a dead end, a blank wall that pulsed with the same faint vibration Elena had felt in her room. Lyra placed her hand on the surface, and intricate patterns of light spread from her touch. The wall dissolved, revealing a hidden elevator. As they descended, Lyra explained in hushed tones, "What I'm about to show you goes against everything we're taught to believe. But there are those of us who question the wisdom of our ancestors, who wonder if the complete eradication of males was truly the answer to lasting peace." The elevator stopped, and they stepped out into a vast underground cavern. Elena's jaw dropped at the sight before her. Rows upon rows of stasis pods lined the walls, each containing a sleeping figure. But these weren't the willowy, feminine forms of the Zephyrians she had seen above. These were unmistakably male. "Welcome," said a deep voice, startling Elena, "to the sanctuary of the forgotten." A tall, broad-shouldered Zephyrian male stepped forward, his skin shimmering with hues Elena hadn't seen before, deep blues and greens that seemed to ripple like the ocean. "I am Zarin," he said, bowing slightly. leader of the resistance and keeper of Zephyria's greatest secret. Elena's mind whirled with questions. But how? I thought all males were eliminated centuries ago. Zaren's expression was grave. That is the official history, yes, but the truth is far more complex. A small group of scientists, fearing the consequences of completely eliminating genetic diversity, secretly preserved a population of males. We've been hidden here, deep beneath the surface, for generations. But why reveal yourselves now? Elena asked. Lyra stepped forward. Because of you, Elena. Your arrival has caused ripples throughout our society. The High Council fears you because you represent something they've tried to erase, the natural balance between male and female energies. Zaren nodded. We believe your presence could be the catalyst for change our world desperately needs. The complete suppression of masculine energy has led to stagnation, a lack of innovation and progress masked by technological advancement. Elena's head spun with the implications. So what do you want from me? We want your help, Lyra said earnestly, to bridge the gap between our worlds, to show that true harmony comes not from eliminating differences, but from embracing them. Zaren's eyes blazed with intensity. And in return, we offer you a way home. We have been working on a quantum entanglement device that could open a portal to Earth, but we need your knowledge of your world's coordinates to calibrate it correctly. Elena felt the weight of two worlds settling on her shoulders. This wasn't just about her survival or finding a way home anymore. She had stumbled upon a civilization on the brink of profound change, and her actions could shape the destiny of an entire planet. I'll help you, Elena said, her voice strong with conviction. But we need a plan. The High Council won't give up their power easily. Zaren smiled, an expression that transformed his face and made Elena realize just how much Zephyrian society had lost by suppressing half of its population. We have a plan, Earth Daughter. One that will shake the very foundations of Zephyria and usher in a new age of balance and progress. As Zaren began to outline their daring strategy, Elena felt a surge of excitement and purpose. She had come to this world as a lost explorer, but she would leave it as a revolutionary, a bridge between two civilizations, and perhaps the key to unlocking a brighter future for both Earth and Zephyria. The quantum whispers that had led her here grew stronger, resonating with the energy of the hidden sanctuary. Elena knew that the path ahead would be dangerous, filled with challenges she could scarcely imagine. But as she looked at the faces of Lyra, Zaren, and the other members of the resistance gathering around them, she felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. The revolution of Zephyria was about to begin, and Elena Rees would be at its heart. The quantum uprising. As the twin suns of Zephyria rose, casting their ethereal glow across the crystalline spires of Harmonia, Elena found herself at the center of a plan so audacious it bordered on the impossible. The resistance, led by Zaren and supported by a growing network of dissatisfied Zephyrians, had spent the night briefing her on the intricacies of their society and the true extent of the High Council's control. The key to our plan, Zaren explained, his deep voice resonating through the hidden chamber, is the harmonic nexus. He gestured to a holographic display that shimmered into existence, showing a complex network of energy lines converging on a central point deep beneath the city. The Nexus is the source of the Council's power, Lyra added. It's a quantum computer of unimaginable complexity, controlling everything from our climate to the very thoughts of most Zephyrians. Elena's eyes widened. Mind control. That's how they maintain order. Zaren nodded grimly. Subtle influence rather than outright control, but yes, it's why most of our people never question the absence of males or the rigid structure of our society. And you're immune? Elena asked, looking around at the assembled rebels. Not immune, a new voice chimed in. A slender Zephyrian with swirling patterns of gold across her skin stepped forward. I'm Aria, the Resistance's lead scientist. We've developed quantum shielding technology that blocks the Nexus's influence. It's how we've managed to stay hidden and build our movement. Elena nodded, impressed. So what's the plan? Take control of this Nexus. Zaren's expression turned fierce. We're going to destroy it. The next few hours were a whirlwind of preparation. Elena found herself outfitted with a sleek exosuit that Arya assured her would blend seamlessly with Zephyrian biology scanners. The suit hummed with energy, its surface shifting and adapting like liquid metal. One more thing, Arya said, holding up a small pulsing crystal. This is a quantum entanglement node. It will allow you to tap into the telepathic network we use to communicate. Just focus your thoughts and we'll hear you. As Elena integrated the crystal into her suit, she felt a rush of new sensations. Suddenly, she could sense the presence of every member of the resistance, their thoughts a faint whisper at the edge of her consciousness. The plan was daring in its simplicity. While Zaren and a team of male Zephyrians would create a diversion at the city's edge, Elena, Lyra, and Arya would infiltrate the central tower where the High Council resided. Their goal, to reach the harmonic Nexus and overload its systems, freeing the minds of all Zephyrians from its subtle control. As they made their way through the twisting bio-organic corridors of the tower, Elena marveled at how easily they'd blended in. The quantum shielding made them virtually invisible to the security systems, and any Zephyrians they encountered seemed to look right through them. It's working, Lyra whispered, her thoughts echoing in Elena's mind. The Nexus can't perceive us as a threat, so it's making everyone else ignore our presence. They reached the central chamber, a vast spherical room dominated by a pulsing orb of pure energy, the physical manifestation of the harmonic Nexus. Arya immediately set to work, her fingers dancing over holographic interfaces as she sought to overload the system. Suddenly, alarms blared. The chamber sealed itself, and the air grew thick with crackling energy. It's the failsafe, Arya shouted, both aloud and in their shared mental space. The Nexus is trying to protect itself. Elena felt a pressure building in her mind, the Nexus attempting to overwhelm their quantum shielding. She gritted her teeth, focusing on the training Zaren had given her to resist telepathic intrusion. We need more power, Arya said, her voice strained. The overload sequence is ready, but we can't generate enough energy to trigger it. In that moment, Elena had a flash of inspiration. She remembered the strange vibrations she'd felt in her quarters, the quantum whispers that had led her to the resistance. The planet, she gasped. It's alive, isn't it? The core of Zephyria, it's sentient. Lyra's eyes widened in realization. The old legends, they speak of the world's soul, but I never thought. Elena didn't hesitate. She pressed her hands against the floor, reaching out with her mind, tapping into the strange connection she'd felt since arriving on this alien world. Please, she projected her thoughts with all her might. Your children need you. Help us break the chains that bind them. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then, the entire chamber began to vibrate. Lines of pulsing energy spread from where Elena's hands touched the ground, racing up the walls and converging on the Nexus. The orb of energy flared blindingly bright, and Elena felt a surge of raw power course through her body. She became a conduit, a bridge between the living planet and the artificial construct that had sought to control it. With a deafening boom, the harmonic Nexus shattered. A wave of energy exploded outward, and Elena's world went white. When she came to, Elena found herself cradled in Lyra's arms. The chamber was in ruins, but through the broken walls, she could see the sky. The ever-present lavender hue had given way to a brilliant blue, closer to Earth's own atmosphere. You did it, Lyra said, her voice filled with awe. The Nexus is gone. Our people, they're free. As they made their way out of the tower, Elena saw Zephyrians wandering the streets, looking dazed but awakening to their true selves for the first time in centuries. In the distance, she saw figures emerging from hidden entrances, the males of Zephyria, finally able to walk in the sunlight. Zaren found them in the central plaza, his face beaming with joy. Elena Rees, he said, clasping her hand. You've given us back our world, our true selves. How can we ever repay you? Elena smiled, feeling the weight of her own world calling to her. That quantum entanglement device you mentioned, the one that might be able to get me home. I think it's time we gave it a try. As the Zephyrians set to work, Elena looked out over the transformed city. She had come to this world as a lost explorer and would leave it as a legend, the catalyst for a new age of balance and enlightenment. The quantum uprising had succeeded, and as the portal home began to shimmer into existence, Elena knew that the story of Zephyria and Earth was only just beginning. The cosmic convergence. As the quantum entanglement device hummed to life, its energy field pulsating with otherworldly colors, Elena felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The thought of returning home filled her with joy, but leaving Zephyria and the friends she'd made felt bittersweet. Aria's voice cut through her reverie. "Elena, there's something you need to know before you step through that portal." The scientist's tone was grave, causing Elena to turn away from the shimmering gateway. "What is it?" Aria's skin rippled with anxious hues. "The quantum resonance we're detecting, it's not just connecting to your Earth. The portal is linking to multiple realities, multiple Earths." Elena's mind reeled. "Multiple Earths? You mean parallel universes?" Zarin stepped forward, his expression serious. "It seems the destruction of the harmonic Nexus has had far-reaching consequences. The quantum fabric of our reality is unstable. We're calling it the cosmic convergence," Lyra added. "Realities are bleeding into one another. And it's not just affecting Zephyria and Earth. We're detecting ripples across the entire galaxy." Elena felt the weight of this new revelation settle on her shoulders. "So what does this mean? For me? For our worlds?" Aria manipulated a holographic display showing a map of swirling energies and intersecting timelines. "It means, Elena, that stepping through that portal won't just take you home. You'll become a nexus point yourself, a bridge between realities." The implications were staggering. Elena had come to Zephyria as an explorer, become a revolutionary, and now stood on the precipice of becoming something even greater, a cosmic keystone, holding together the fabric of multiple universes. I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of responsibility," Elena admitted, her voice shaking slightly. Zarin placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "None of us are ever truly ready for the roles destiny thrusts upon us. But you've proven yourself capable of extraordinary things, Elena Reeves. If anyone can navigate the cosmic convergence, it's you." Lyra stepped forward, holding a small, pulsing crystal similar to the quantum entanglement node Elena had used earlier. "This is a cosmic compass. It will help you navigate the realities you'll encounter and, hopefully, find your way back to your original Earth." As Elena took the crystal, she felt a surge of energy course through her. Suddenly, her perception expanded. She could see, no, feel, the countless threads of reality stretching out before her. It was beautiful and terrifying all at once. "The portal is stabilizing," Aria announced. "It's now or never, Elena." Taking a deep breath, Elena turned to her Zephyrian friends. "Thank you, all of you, for everything. I promise I'll find a way to return, to help your world and mine navigate this cosmic convergence." With final embraces and words of encouragement, Elena stepped towards the portal. The energy field enveloped her, and she felt herself being pulled apart at the atomic level. It wasn't painful, but the sensation was indescribably intense. In a flash of blinding light, Elena Reeves vanished from Zephyria. She found herself tumbling through a kaleidoscopic tunnel of pure energy. Flashes of different realities whisked past her, an Earth where dinosaurs still roamed, another where gleaming cities floated in the sky, yet another plunged into a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The cosmic compass pulsed in her hand, guiding her through the chaotic stream of alternate timelines. Elena focused her will, using the techniques Zarin had taught her to resist telepathic intrusion. She pushed through reality after reality, searching for the familiar resonance of her home. Suddenly, she felt a powerful tug. The tunnel of light collapsed around her, and Elena found herself standing on solid ground once more. But as she took in her surroundings, her heart sank. This wasn't her Earth. The sky was a deep crimson, and towering alien structures dotted the landscape. In the distance, she could see a massive pyramid that seemed to be made of pure energy, pulsing with an ominous light. Before Elena could fully process her new environment, a group of figures emerged from behind a nearby structure. They were humanoid, but their skin was metallic, and their eyes glowed with an unnatural blue light. The lead figure stepped forward, its voice a strange mix of organic and synthetic tones. Anomaly detected. Interdimensional traveler identified. State your purpose, outsider. Elena's mind raced. She was in completely unknown territory, facing what appeared to be a civilization of cyborgs or highly advanced androids. The cosmic compass hummed in her hand, reminding her of the enormous responsibility she now carried. Taking a deep breath, Elena straightened her posture and met the cyborg's glowing gaze. I am Elena Reeves, explorer of Earth and catalyst of the cosmic convergence. I come seeking knowledge and alliance in the face of a crisis that threatens all realities. The cyborg's eyes flickered, as if processing this information. After a moment, it spoke again. Follow. The omniment will determine your fate. As Elena was led towards the massive energy pyramid, she couldn't help but wonder what new challenges and wonders its reality would hold. The cosmic convergence had only just begun, and her journey to save the multiverse was far from over. With each step, Elena felt the weight of countless realities resting on her shoulders, but she also felt a growing determination. She had changed one world already. Now it was time to save them all. The Technopolis enigma. Elena followed her cyborg escorts through the crimson-lit streets of this alien metropolis. The air hummed with energy, and streams of data seemed to flow visibly between buildings, creating a mesmerizing dance of light and information. As they approached the colossal energy pyramid, Elena's cosmic compass pulsed with increasing intensity. Traveler, the lead cyborg intoned, its voice a harmonious blend of organic and synthetic tones. You stand before the Nexus of convergence. The omniment awaits. The pyramid's surface rippled like liquid metal, and an entrance materialized. Elena steeled herself and stepped inside. The interior was a vast, impossibly spacious chamber that seemed to defy the laws of physics. At its center floated a swirling vortex of pure data and consciousness, the omniment. A voice, or rather a chorus of voices, resonated within Elena's mind. Elena Reeves of Earth Prime, catalyst of the cosmic convergence. Your arrival was foreseen, yet its implications remain uncertain. Elena's scientific training battled with her sense of awe. You know who I am. We are the collective consciousness of countless civilizations across the multiverse, the omniment replied. Your actions on Zephyria created ripples that echo through all realities. The destruction of their harmonic nexus has accelerated a process long in motion, the merging of all possible worlds. Holographic displays materialized around Elena, showing her glimpses of myriad realities, some familiar, others utterly alien. The cosmic convergence is not merely a crisis, Elena Reeves. It is an opportunity for transcendence, for the evolution of all sentient life into a single, unified consciousness. Elena's mind reeled at the implications. But wouldn't that mean the end of individual worlds, individual cultures? It would mean the end of limitations, the omniment countered. Imagine a reality where all knowledge, all experiences are shared, where the best of every civilization contributes to a grand tapestry of existence. As tempting as the vision sounded, something about it struck Elena as fundamentally wrong. She thought of Zephyria, of how the suppression of an entire gender had led to stagnation. Diversity is what drives progress, she argued. If we lose our individuality, we lose the very thing that makes us unique, that allows us to grow and change. The omniment was silent for a moment, as if considering her words. Your perspective is intriguing. Perhaps there is wisdom in preserving the multiplicity of existence, but the convergence cannot be stopped. It can only be shaped. Suddenly, Elena's cosmic compass flared to life, projecting a complex web of intersecting timelines. The compass, Elena gasped. It's not just a navigation tool, it's a key to understanding the convergence itself. The Omniman's energy field pulsed with what Elena sensed was surprise and approval. You continue to exceed parameters, Elena Rees. Yes, the compass is far more than it appears. It is a fragment of the original cosmic lattice, the framework upon which all realities are built. Elena's scientific curiosity ignited. If we can understand how the lattice works, we might be able to guide the convergence, to allow realities to interact without completely merging. A fascinating hypothesis, the Omniman mused. But it would require an unprecedented level of cooperation across multiple dimensions. Are you prepared to undertake such a monumental task? Elena thought of her home, of Earth, of Zephyria, and of all the wondrous and terrifying realities she had glimpsed. The weight of her responsibility was immense, but so was the potential for discovery and growth. I am, she said, her voice firm with resolve. But I'll need help. Knowledge from across the multiverse, and a way to communicate with other versions of myself in different realities. The Omniman's energy swirled faster, taking on a golden hue. Then let the great experiment begin. We will provide you with the resources of Technopolis and access to our interdimensional communication network. But be warned, Elena Reeves. There are forces in the multiverse that seek to exploit the convergence for their own ends. Your path will be fraught with danger. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the pyramid. A cyborg lieutenant rushed in, its eyes flashing urgently. Omniman, we detect a multiversal incursion. Reality breaches from Universe Delta 7 are attempting to hijack our quantum mainframe. Elena's heart raced. Her mission to save the multiverse was about to face its first major test. What can I do to help? She asked, the cosmic compass humming with anticipation in her hand. The Omniman's voice took on a tone of grim determination. You must interface directly with our systems, Elena. Use the compass to track the invaders through the quantum realm. Stop them before they can destabilize our reality and hasten an uncontrolled convergence. As Elena placed her hand on the pulsing quantum interface, she felt her consciousness expand. In an instant, she was aware of the entire Technopolis network, of the swirling currents of data and the subtle quantum fluctuations that signaled the presence of the interdimensional invaders. With a thought, she plunged into the digital realm, her mind racing through circuits and quantum pathways. She could sense the invaders now, beings of pure energy, their essence corrupted by a darkness she couldn't quite comprehend. The chase was on, a high-stakes game of multidimensional cat and mouse. Elena used the compass to predict the invaders' movements, sealing off quantum corridors and setting up firewall traps. But these entities were clever, always one step ahead, slipping through cracks in reality she hadn't even known existed. Just when it seemed the invaders would reach the core of Technopolis's quantum mainframe, Elena had an epiphany. She reached out not just with the compass, but with her own consciousness, tapping into the very essence of the cosmic lattice itself. In that moment of connection, she understood. The invaders weren't simply trying to hijack Technopolis, they were fragments of a shattered reality, desperately seeking a new home. Their methods were destructive, but their motivation was born of fear and survival instinct. Instead of attacking, Elena opened a channel of communication. Stop, she projected her thoughts across the quantum realm. We can help you, but not like this. There's a better way. The invaders paused, their energy signatures flickering with surprise and cautious hope. Elena felt the Omniman's presence join her own, its vast intelligence comprehending her plan. Together, they created a quantum bubble, a safe haven where the fragments of Delta 7 could exist without threatening the stability of Technopolis. It wasn't a permanent solution, but it was a start, a first step towards healing the wounds in the multiverse caused by the convergence. As Elena's consciousness returned to her physical form, she found herself breathless and exhilarated. She'd have faced her first multiversal crisis and found a solution not through conflict, but through understanding and compassion. The Omniman's voice resonated with a new respect. "You're shown wisdom beyond our predictions, Alina Reeves." Perhaps the key to navigating the cosmic convergence lies not in control, but in harmony. In finding ways for different realities to coexist and support one another. Elena nodded, her mind already racing with new possibilities. "We need to establish a network, a way for different versions of myself, and others working to stabilize the multiverse, to share information and resources across realities." "Agreed," the Omnimind hummed. "We shall call it the Multiversal Accord, and you, Alina Reeves, shall be its first ambassador." As the cyborgs of Technopolis bustled around her, beginning work on the ambitious project, Elena felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with wonders and dangers she could scarcely imagine. But for the first time since leaving Earth, she felt truly ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. The cosmic convergence was reshaping reality itself, and Elena Reeves was at the heart of it all, ready to forge a future that would span not just worlds, but entire universes. The Quantum Quandary. Elena stood at the helm of the Multiversal Accord's headquarters, a structure that existed simultaneously across multiple realities. The room buzzed with activity as holographic representatives from various dimensions discussed strategies and shared vital information. Ambassador Reeves, a shimmering figure, addressed her, its form constantly shifting between human and something decidedly alien. "We've detected a major anomaly in the Epsilon cluster. It appears to be a quantum singularity that's devouring entire timelines." Elena's brow furrowed as she studied the swirling vortex of data before her. The cosmic compass pulsed urgently at her hip, confirming the gravity of the situation. "This is unlike anything we've encountered before," she mused, her mind racing. "It's not just destroying realities, it's assimilating them, creating a pocket universe with its own twisted laws of physics." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the command center. A cacophony of voices filled the air as reports flooded in from across the multiverse. "The singularity is expanding exponentially. We're losing contact with Earth 259. Timeline collapse detected in the Gamma sector." Elena took a deep breath, centering herself amidst the chaos. This was the moment she had been preparing for since becoming the nexus of the cosmic convergence. "Listen up, everyone," her voice cut through the panic. "We need to approach this methodically. First, we contain the spread. I want quantum barriers established around the Epsilon cluster immediately. Then we analyze. There has to be a pattern to this anomaly, a weakness we can exploit." As the Multiversal Accord sprang into action, Elena felt a familiar presence materialize beside her. It was Lyra, or rather, a quantum projection of her Zephyrian friend. "Elena." Lyra's melodic voice was tinged with urgency. "The Council of Harmonia has been monitoring the singularity. We believe it may be tied to the remnants of our world's harmonic nexus." Elena's eyes widened. Of course, the destruction of the nexus was the catalyst for the convergence. Its energy must have coalesced into this singularity, drawing power from the quantum instability we created. A plan began to form in Elena's mind, daring and potentially catastrophic if it failed. "We need to reverse the polarity of the singularity, turn its assimilation process against itself. But to do that, we'll need to go inside." The holographic representatives erupted in a chorus of objections and warnings. "Ambassador, the risks are too great. We can't lose you to this anomaly." But Elena's resolve was unshakable. "This is what I was meant to do. The cosmic compass will guide me, and the combined knowledge of the Multiversal Accord will be my shield." As preparations were made for her perilous journey, Elena received transmissions from across the multiverse. The cybernetic Omnimind of Technopolis offered to upgrade her neural pathways, allowing her to process multidimensional data more efficiently. Zephyrian scientists provided her with a suit of quantum-entangled armor that would help her maintain molecular cohesion inside the singularity. Finally, a message came through from a reality she had yet to visit, a world where humanity had evolved into beings of pure energy and thought. Elena Reeves, the transmission began, its words somehow conveying emotions beyond normal human comprehension. We are the transcended. Your actions have rippled across the cosmos, and we believe you may be the key to the next stage of universal evolution. Within you lies the potential to bridge the gap between matter and energy, between individual consciousness and cosmic unity. The message continued, imparting knowledge that made Elena's mind reel. The transcended believed that the quantum singularity was not just a threat, but an opportunity, a crucible in which the very nature of reality could be reshaped. As Elena donned her armor and performed final checks on her equipment, she felt the weight of infinite possibilities pressing down upon her. She was no longer just an explorer or even an ambassador. She was the fulcrum upon which the fate of all existence now balanced. Quantum drive spooling up, a technician announced. Singularity breach in T-10 seconds. Elena closed her eyes, feeling the subtle vibrations of the cosmic compass harmonizing with her own biorhythms. In her mind's eye, she saw flashes of her journey, the crash landing on Zephyria, the revolution that freed an entire world, her battles alongside the cyborgs of Technopolis, and countless other adventures across the multiverse. Breach imminent. Godspeed, Ambassador Reeves. With a blinding flash of light and a sensation of being stretched across infinite dimensions, Elena plunged into the heart of the quantum singularity. The laws of physics as she knew them ceased to apply. Time flowed in all directions simultaneously, and probability itself became a tangible force she could manipulate. Inside this maelstrom of raw cosmic potential, Elena began her work. Using the cosmic compass as a focus, she reached out with her consciousness, feeling the currents of assimilated realities swirling around her. The knowledge imparted by the transcended blazed in her mind, showing her the underlying patterns of creation itself. With a thought, she began to weave these threads of reality together, not fighting the singularity's power, but redirecting it. She became a cosmic artist, painting with the very fabric of existence, creating harmonies from the cacophony of collapsing timelines. As she worked, Elena felt herself changing, evolving. The barriers between her consciousness and the universe itself began to blur. She was Elena Reeves, but she was also every version of herself across the multiverse, and something more, a being of pure quantum potential. In a moment that lasted an eternity, Elena understood. The cosmic convergence, the quantum singularity, her own journey, they were all part of a grand cosmic dance, the universe's way of knowing itself. With this realization came power beyond imagining. Elena reached out, not just with her mind or the cosmic compass, but with the totality of her multiversal self. She touched the heart of the singularity and whispered the secrets of creation. Reality shuddered. The singularity pulsed once, twice, and then began to transform. Instead of devouring timelines, it started to birth them. New universes exploded into being, each one a unique expression of cosmic possibility. As the newborn multiverse blossomed around her, Elena felt herself being pulled back, returning to her original form. She materialized in the multiversal Accord headquarters, gasping for breath, her armor smoking and her eyes blazing with the light of newfound knowledge. The assembled representatives stared in awe as holographic displays showed the miraculous transformation taking place in the Epsilon cluster. Where there had been destruction, there was now creation on a scale never before witnessed. Elena stood on shaky legs, her voice hoarse but filled with wonder. We did it. We didn't just stop the singularity, we transformed it. The cosmic convergence isn't an end, it's a new beginning. As cheers erupted around her, Elena knew that her journey was far from over. She had touched the face of creation itself, and the multiverse would never be the same. The age of isolation was over. A new era of multiversal cooperation and exploration was dawning, with humanity and its countless alien allies at the forefront. Elena Reeves, once a simple explorer from Earth, now stood as a beacon of hope for all of existence. The quantum quandary had been solved, but the greatest adventures still lay ahead, waiting to be discovered across the infinite canvas of the reborn multiverse. The nexus of infinite possibilities. The multiverse pulsed with newfound energy as Elena Reeves, now known across countless realities as the quantum architect, stood at the precipice of her greatest challenge yet. The transformation of the singularity had birthed a cosmic phenomenon unlike any other, the nexus of infinite possibilities. This swirling maelstrom of pure potential hung at the center of the reborn multiverse, a shimmering portal that connected all realities and timelines. It was both a wellspring of creation and a potential source of unimaginable chaos. The nexus is unstable, warned Exari, a being of pure thought from the 11th dimension. Their voice resonated directly in Elena's mind, bypassing the need for physical speech. If we cannot find a way to stabilize it, the walls between realities will collapse entirely. Elena nodded, her eyes flickering with streams of quantum data as she processed information from across the multiverse. The cybernetic enhancements gifted to her by the omnimind of Technopolis hummed beneath her skin, allowing her to interface directly with the fabric of reality itself. "We need to approach this from multiple angles," Elena declared, her voice carrying the weight of 1,000 worlds. "This isn't just a scientific problem, it's a philosophical one." With a gesture, she summoned holographic representations of her most trusted allies from across the multiverse. Laura from Zephyria, her iridescent skin now pulsing with the power of her world's reawakened masculine energy. Zarin, the hybrid cyborg organic from Technopolis, his former perfect blend of flesh and machine. And a new ally, Eternity, a sentient black hole who had achieved consciousness after eons of contemplation. The Nexus represents the sum total of all choices, all possibilities, Elena explained, her words echoing across dimensions. To stabilize it, we need to find a way to allow for infinite potential without sacrificing the integrity of individual realities. Zarin's cybernetic eye wared as he processed the problem. Perhaps we could create a quantum firewall, a barrier that allows for controlled interactions between universes while preventing total collapse. Laura's melodic voice chimed in. "On Zephyria, we've been experimenting with harmonic resonance fields. If we could tune them to the specific frequency of each reality, we might be able to create a buffer zone around the Nexus." Eternity's thoughts arrived like gravitational waves, bending the fabric of space-time itself. As a cosmic singularity myself, I understand the nature of infinite density. What if we were to create a series of micro-singularities around the Nexus, each one acting as a pressure release valve for excess quantum energy? Elena's mind raced, weaving these ideas together into a tapestry of cosmic engineering. But something was missing, a key element that would bring it all together. Suddenly, the cosmic compass at her hip pulsed with unprecedented intensity. Elena gasped as a flood of information poured into her consciousness. She saw glimpses of realities beyond comprehension, universes where the very concepts of space and time were foreign abstractions. And then she understood. The Nexus isn't just a phenomenon to be contained. Elena breathed, her eyes wide with revelation. It's alive, conscious. We need to communicate with it. Her proclamation was met with stunned silence, broken only by Eternity's gravitational ripple of curiosity. "But how?" Lyra asked, her voice tinged with awe. "How does one speak to the sum of all existence?" Elena's lips curved into a smile that held the secrets of creation. "We don't speak, we become." With fluid grace, she stepped toward the swirling vortex of the Nexus. The cosmic compass floated from her hip, expanding and transforming into a shimmering gateway. "I'm going to merge with the Nexus," Elena announced, her voice echoing across the multiverse. "Not just my body, but my entire being, past, present, future, and every alternate version of myself. I'll become a conduit, a living bridge between all realities." Protests erupted from her allies, warnings of the dangers and the possibility that she might lose herself entirely. But Elena's resolve was unshakable. "This is what all my journeys have been leading to," she said softly. From that first crash landing on Zephyria to the transformation of the singularity, I am the quantum architect, and it's time to fulfill my purpose. Before anyone could stop her, Elena stepped through the gateway created by the cosmic compass. Her physical form dissolved, atoms scattering across infinite dimensions. Her consciousness expanded, merging with the very essence of the Nexus itself. In that moment, Elena Rees ceased to be an individual and became everything. She was every choice ever made, every path not taken, every dream dreamt and forgotten. She was the first spark of life in the primordial soup and the last star burning at the end of time. And in becoming everything, she found the key to universal harmony. With a thought that resonated across all of existence, Elena, now one with the Nexus, began to sing. It was a song of cosmic proportions, a symphony of quantum harmonies that resonated with the very strings of reality. Each note was a universe unto itself, each chord a cluster of galaxies. The song spread, touching every corner of the multiverse. It spoke of balance, of the dance between chaos and order, of the beauty found in both unity and diversity. It taught each reality how to exist in harmony with its neighbors while maintaining its own unique essence. As the cosmic symphony reached its crescendo, the nexus of infinite possibilities stabilized. It no longer threatened to consume all of existence, but instead became a wellspring of creation and exploration. The boundaries between universes became permeable but not destructible, allowing for exchange and growth without the risk of total collapse. And at the heart of it all was Elena, her consciousness now woven into the very fabric of the multiverse. She was everywhere and everywhen, a guiding force that would help shape the destiny of all realities. As the song faded, Elena felt herself being gently pulled back. She reformed on the other side of the gateway, forever changed, but still recognizably herself. Her eyes now shimmered with the light of infinite universes, and her very presence seemed to bend reality around her. Her allies rushed to her side, their faces a mix of concern, awe, and joy. "Did it work?" Lyra asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Elena smiled, a smile that held the wisdom of eternity. "It worked. The multiverse is safe, and more than that, it's thriving. We've entered a new age of cosmic exploration and cooperation." As news of the Nexus's stabilization spread across dimensions, celebrations erupted on countless worlds. The threat of multiversal collapse had been averted, and a new era of infinite possibility had dawned. But for Elena Rees, quantum architect and guardian of the multiverse, the journey was far from over. She had glimpsed wonders beyond imagination and dangers that lurked in the darkest corners of reality. Her mission now was to guide, to explore, and to ensure that the delicate balance she had helped create would endure. As she stood with her allies, gazing into the shimmering heart of the Nexus, Elena felt a sense of anticipation unlike anything she had ever known. The multiverse was vast, filled with mysteries waiting to be unraveled and adventures yet to be had. And she would be there, at the forefront of it all, leading humanity and its countless allies into a future brighter than any single universe could have ever imagined. The quantum saga of Elena Rees had only just begun, and the greatest chapters were yet to be written across the infinite canvas of existence itself.